Welcome in, guys. I'm Noah Castor, and as always, I'm joined by Brandon Hudson and Darren Kinslow, and we are the Benchwarmers. I would like to mention that we are doing a giveaway. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers before the start of the season. Once we hit that, we'll do a giveaway of an NFL jersey of the winner's choice, so be sure to subscribe to keep up with that. With that, we're going to get into the Vikings offseason report. Obviously, they needed some offensive line help, and they started off with the first pick. What do you think about how they've really constructed their offseason, Darren?
They haven't made a ton of free agent signings, but I did like their draft, especially the early rounds, drafting Irv Smith Jr. I think he's going to be great, especially since Kyle Rudolph probably isn't going to be staying around much longer. I thought he was headed out the door this season, but looks like that's not going to happen. They did get Anthony Barr back, all that stuff.
Yeah,
he went to the Jets and decided not. So... but I like the team, I really do, but I don't like Kirk Cousins. I don't think he's going to be able to get the job done. And with the receiving core that he does have, it is disappointing that he's not able to take this team any further. But the roster is good, and we'll see what they can do this season. I don't know. I like Dalvin Cook, too. I think he's a great running back. That's pretty much all I got on him.
Yeah. Brandon, we'll shoot it over to you.
So I want to bounce off a little what you said with the defense. I think they had a great defense last year and the year before, but I think overall they're starting to fall off the map, becoming an average defense, and it's just not looking good for them now. And then also I wanted to add that, I mean, they have a pretty good receiving core. They've got Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen being one of the biggest running back duos or wide receiver duos, in the league, and it's just that they have Kirk Cousins. That's the problem. They have Kirk Cousins. It just doesn't work out when you have two of the best receivers, and then you got Kirk Cousins as your quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of the draft, I mean, of course, I like their first pick, picking up the offensive lineman. Obviously, they really needed help, and picking up Garrett Bradbury is going to help them out a lot. You talked about Irv Smith Jr., really also a good blocking tight end, too, but he can also go out and catch some balls. Obviously, we didn't see a lot from Alabama, but they had so many other weapons that they didn't look at him a lot. And then it kind of confused me with their third-round pick, picking up a running back. Like you said before we started recording, thought they might have reached a little bit there. But I think that's because Dalvin Cook's been injured quite a bit at the start of his career.
Yeah,
so
and they lost Latavius Murray. He went to the Saints.
So hopefully new running back that they got from Boise State can step up and fill in that backup role or even a starting role if Dalvin Cook inevitably goes down during the season. But it all comes down to Kirk Cousins. And like I've said, ever since the Vikings, I was happy when the Vikings signed him. That $84 million guaranteed. I'm like, yes, please. Next up is Mitchell Trubisky. Please sign him. But he's just so bad in big games. He's the Andy Dalton of the NFC. He can't win you the big ones. And with the receiving core, like you guys said, that he has in Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, you should be winning games. And a need-to-win game against Chicago at the end of the season, you can't pull it out when Chicago's in playoff mode, basically. That's just unacceptable. And as a Packers fan, I love to see it. As a Vikings fan, it must be hard to watch such great talent get wasted by such a mediocre quarterback.
Yep, exactly.
It all comes down to this. Whether they finish in the division, obviously a very tough division with Green Bay and Chicago and the Lions. Where do we see the Vikings finishing?
I think they'll probably just compete with the Lions. I do think the Lions take a step up this year. So I think it's just they're gonna be fighting for third. I think the Bears and Packers are definitely first and second. In what order, I'm not sure, but I think the best they do this year is third. They've got a good team. If Kirk Cousins somehow is able to be above average this season, maybe they come up into second place, possibly first. I don't know, but if Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins, then I can see him placing third, possibly last, if the Lions surprise us. But
all right, I've got the Vikings going as last place. Not even fighting for Detroit. The only reason why I say that is because, I mean, with the Detroit Lions offseason this year, I mean, we've all seen it. It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
They had a good draft.
Yeah.
I don't see them. I mean, the only way I see the Vikings fighting for third is if the Detroit Lions don't all come together and be.
If Matthew Stafford has a down season.
Yep. Yeah. Just as long as they all connect and it ends up working out, I don't see the Detroit Lions fighting for a last place spot anymore. I see them going at third.
All right, this is a big moment. I'm going to agree with Brandon on this one. I think the Vikings are taking last place. I think the Lions had a really good offseason, and obviously I think the Bears and Packers are you're just smiling over there because I'm agreeing with you. I think the Bears and Packers are miles ahead of both those teams. So, and obviously Kirk Cousins, there's a reason the Redskins didn't give him a long-term contract because they knew he wasn't the answer, and he's not the answer for the Vikings. So
that's the funny thing is honestly, all they need is really a quarterback. I mean,
should have stuck with Case Keenum, honestly. Just should have stuck with Case Keenum. But they went out and paid Kirk Cousins an obscene amount of money and guaranteed money, too, 100% guaranteed. So
And that's what sucks is they were in such a good position at quarterback. They had Bridgewater and Keenum and then Cousins. And, I mean,
they had Bradford, too, for a little bit.
Yeah. And they end up with Kirk Cousins and paying him all that money and haven't done... 8-7-1 last year.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I love it. Yeah, no, the Vikings, their one issue is quarterback. I mean, obviously the defense is deteriorating a little bit, but they just...
And then the rest of the offense is...
It's good.
Yeah.
I think they're better off to tank this year. Maybe go after Herbert from Oregon next year.
Oh my gosh, it's just so hard. You have such a good roster. I don't know.
And when you've already paid your quarterback that much money...
Oh, I just want to... No, they can keep Kirk Cousins. Sign him to a long-term deal.
Yeah.
10 more years of Kirk Cousins. That's what I want to see. All right, I think that does it for the Vikings offseason report.
Yep.
You and me have them in last place. You got fighting for third with the Lions. So be sure to check out our other videos. We had an NFL quarterback tier list that came out, so go check that one out. Be sure to subscribe to enter in for the giveaway that we're doing. It's been the Benchwarmers, guys.
Deuces.